There once lived an armadillo who loved music more than anything else in the world. Every day after it rained, the armadillo would drag his shell over to the big pond filled with frogs, and he would listen to their singing back and forth to each other in beautiful voices. Oh, thought the armadillo, oh, how I wish I could sing. The armadillo would creep to the edge of the water and watch the frogs leaping and swimming back and forth in beautiful musical tones. He loved to listen to the music they made as they spoke, though he couldn't understand their words, which was just as well, for the frogs were laughing at the silly armadillo that wanted to sing so badly like a frog. Don't be ridiculous, sang the frogs as they played. Armadillos can't sing. Then, one day, a family of crickets moved into a new house near the armadillo, and he was amazed to hear them chirp and sing just as beautifully as the frogs. He would creep next to their house and listen all day and night to their sounds. Oh, sighed the armadillo, oh, how I wish I could sing. Don't be ridiculous, sang the crickets. Armadillos can't sing. But the armadillo could not understand their language, and so he just sighed and listened to their beautiful voices laughing at him. Then one day a man appeared carrying a cage full of canaries. They were chirping and singing songs that were more beautiful than the crickets or the frogs. The armadillo was fascinated. He followed the man with the cage down the road as fast as he could, listening to the canaries singing their beautiful song. Oh, thought the armadillo, oh, how I wish I could sing. Inside the cage, the canaries giggled. Don't be ridiculous, sang the canaries. Armadillos can't sing. The poor, tired armadillo couldn't keep up with the man and the canaries, and finally he fell exhausted at the door of a great wizard. Once he realized where he was, the armadillo decided to knock on the door. Timidly, the armadillo approached the wizard and said, Great wizard, how I wish to learn to sing like the frogs and the crickets and the canaries. The wizard's lips twitched a little in amusement, for who had ever heard of an armadillo that could sing? But he realized that the little animal was serious. He bent low to the ground and looked at the creature in the eye. I can make you sing, little armadillo, but you do not want to pay the price, for it means you will die. You mean if I die, I'll be able to sing? Asked the armadillo in amusement. Yes, said the wizard. Then I want to die right now, said the armadillo. I would do anything to be able to sing. The wizard and the armadillo discussed the matter for a long time, for the wizard was hesitant to take the life of such a fine armadillo. But the creature insisted, so the wizard finally killed the armadillo, made a wonderful musical instrument from a shell, and gave it to the best musician in town. Sometimes the musician would play his instrument by the pond where the frogs lived, and they would stare at him and say, Aye, the armadillo has learned to sing. Sometimes the musician would play his instrument by the house where the crickets lived, and they would creep outside and stare at him with big eyes and say, Aye, the armadillo has learned to sing. The musician would often visit his friends who also had canaries and was a musician. The two men would play their instruments together while the little birds watched in amazement. Aye, the armadillo has learned to sing. And so it was. The armadillo had learned to sing at last, and his voice was the finest in the land. But like very best musicians in the world, the armadillo sacrificed his life for art.